Some movies are not rated, or compared. Reef off the Fireflies, this enemy movie, one such movie. There is not a single person who did not cry after watching this 1988 movie. The story of this movie may stay in your head for the rest of your life, so please don't drag and watch the full video. I promise, you won't waste your time. And if you think your time is wasted, leave a dislike. So without further ado, let's go to the story of the movie. A railway station in Japan, another poor boy, who is very sick. Seeing him, it was clear that he is spending the last days of his life here. Many passengers were walking there from nearby. But the mechanical people of the city are so busy that they don't even have time to see a person dying, and this is the daily picture of our city today. We are too busy with ourselves. At the end of the day it becomes night. The cleaning staff of the station came to the boy. There were several other boys like that boy. They were waiting for death. But the attitude of the railway staff seemed to be the daily picture of that station. The cleaners were checking the boy's pockets when they found a tin coat in the boy's pocket. Since the tin can was unnecessary, the cleaner threw the tin can in the garden next door. Kent's stupor was broken and many lighting bug came out. And in a moment it lights up all around. Out of that light came a little girl with like an angel, whose name was Sechoko. On the other hand, that boy has died by now. His body is lying far away. The little girl was going to run towards the body. That's when a hand touched his shoulder. When Sechoko turns around, she sees it's her brother, whose name was Seda. Sechoko takes his brother's hand and boards a train, heading for an unknown destination. Basically, the boy who was lying dead, he was none other than Sechoko's brother Seda. And it was the spirit of two brothers and sisters. The story goes back many years ago. The time was during World War II, when the Americans attacked the Japanese. The common people, to save their lives, started running around for some safe shelter. Then the boy named Saida kept the necessary things of their house under the ground was giving, so that they can use them when the war is over. We also see Sechoko and her mother there. Sesko's mother tells them, "I will go to the shelter and make room for you. You finish your chores, and quickly come to the shelter with your little sister." Their mother moved to the shelter, and Seda, having finished her handiwork, she tied her younger sister to her back. And before going, he takes some necessary things with him. But then it was too late. The Americans launched an air attack on Japan. Only the sound of gunfire all around. The little girl does not understand what war is. He clings to his brother very tightly to survive. And Seda ran out of the house to save her only younger sister. He left the house and around started running to save his sister. But at that time, people's wails and gunfire were all around. The air there was heavy with the smell of people burning. Children could not understand what to do in the midst of such destruction. Then they found a little safe shelter by the side of the main road. The two tired siblings breathed a sigh of relief. And then it started raining from the sky as a blessing. Seda, with her younger sister Sechoke, set off again towards the shelter. After a long journey, they reached the shelter. A familiar aunt of Seda came from Beer and said to Seda, "I was looking for you. Your mother was badly injured by the bomb. You meet your mother soon. I am keeping your younger sister Sechoko." Hearing this, Seda quickly ran to the shelter to see her mother. An army officer gives Seda a ring to identify her mother, because his mother had burnt to ashes by then. Whichever mother was alive a while back, she came here saying goodbye to them. Seeing the lifeless body of that mother, Seda could not understand what to do. He quietly comes out. He don't say anything to anyone. When he sees his little sister's face, his tears also dry up. Because this baby girl has no one else in this world except Seda. Seda hangs her mother's last ring in the bag around her younger sister's neck. But the baby girl Sechoko requests begging her brother, I will go to mother. But the little girl has no idea that her mother has left her far away. He will never come back. Seda keeps falsely assuring her sister that mother is a bit ill. I will take you to mother when she recovers. But the child's mind does not mean. Who used to stay in his mother's lap for 24 hours, now he is not able to go to his mother all day. Sechoko continued to cry for his mother. Seda was forced to perform various gestures to improve his mind and game started showing. The next day Seda's mother was cremated along with some other bodies. An acquaintance on the train asks him about his younger sister. Seda then told her that I have sent my sister to a relative's house. And I'm going there now. Seda reached her relative's house. He hides a wooden box in the garden next door. When Seda opened the door and entered the house, her younger sister came running screaming, Mama. Because he thinks his mother is back. But actually his brother came back. And when that auntie asks her where her mother is, Seda tells her auntie that my mother is still sick. We'll come back when he is healthy. The night grew deep. Seda then brought that wooden box home. Originally the box contained the last few chocolates he had saved for his little sister. The next morning Seda went to her house, which was now almost destroyed. Seda took out the things hidden under the ground and came to her aunt with those things. His aunt was very happy to see the food. Because these foods were more expensive than crores of rupees. His aunt came to know that his mother had died. At night Seda goes out with her younger sister Sechoko, and plays with the lighting bug. Seda gives one of the lozenges in her pocket to her younger sister. This little lozenge Sechoko burst into joy when he got it in his hands. You don't understand if you don't see it. Even in the midst of so much trouble, seeing the happiness of the little girl made me feel better. And like this, quite a few days passed. Little by little, the two children without their parents were becoming understood by the aunties. Seda auntie came and asked Seda, have you found any trace of your father? Seda then told him that I have written many letters to father. But till date I have not received any reply from him. Seda's aunt says to Seda, you take your younger sister, go to the shelter. Seda then says that my sister Sechoke doesn't like to be there at all. Gradually their aunt started misbehaving with them. Reduces their food intake. But the two orphans remained there despite suffering hundreds of insults. Because people like me understand how hard the world is without a mother. For those of you whose mothers are still alive, take a look at your mothers now. You will see paradise before your eyes. Anyway, a few more days pass like this. One day Seda's aunt comes to Seda to take some of her mother's old clothes. Because, by selling them, he will buy rice. Although Seda agrees to give those saris, the little girl does not agree to give her mother's last scented saris to her aunt. He started crying loudly. He tries hard to save his mother's saris. But it doesn't work. His aunt took the saris. He sells them and buys rice, but that rice does not meet the foreheads of two orphans. Most of the rice is eaten by the aunt's family, and gave a little rice to the two children. When Seda asks her aunt for some rice for her little sister, her aunt tells her many things. And said, why you are not going to the house of your other relatives? You yourself have grown up, why are you not working? The two children sold their mother's clothes but could not eat a little rice. So Seda went to the local bank with her younger sister. His mother had deposited 7,000 rupees for them in this bank. And this 7,000 rupees was a lot of money for that time. Seda first went to a hardware store with the money. They buy a stove for themselves, and do a lot of shopping from the bazaar. Back home, the two siblings cook for themselves. And after many days, the two children ate to their heart's content. But even this does not bring peace to his aunt's eyes. During the night Sechoko cries for his mother. Then her aunt came and said to Seda, "Stop your sister's crying, or get out of this house." Helpless Seda goes outside with her little sister, hugs her and tries to stop her crying. And then there was a sound outside. The Americans attacked again. Seda started running home with her younger sister again to save her life. After a long run, the younger siblings take shelter under a bridge. Looking at Seda's place, it seems that why we two siblings are not building a house in this place, then at least we don't have to listen to that auntie's words. Seda did what he thought. From the rubble, the two siblings gathered their required wood, straw, and other essentials. And Seda brought the rest of the things left at her aunt's house into that cave. They buy some small vegetables from the market to come. And in this abandoned house, two children without a mother make a peaceful home together. After a long time, two brothers and sisters cooked vegetable khichuri for themselves at noon. Having eaten their fill, the two siblings lie down in good spirits. When darkness falls at night, Sensoko is very afraid of darkness. Then his brother Seda brought many lighting bugs for him from outside, and leaves them in the mosquito net. The small cave became completely illuminated. And after many days, the two siblings are able to sleep peacefully today. When Seda wakes up the next morning, she finds that her little sister is not by her side. He comes out of the cave. He saw his younger sister Sechoko digging up and burying the insects that died last night. Sechoko looks at his brother and says, "Brother, my mother is also lying in such a grave. Isn't it? I know everything. Auntie told me. My mother is not alive." Seda cannot understand what to say. He started crying profusely, because his beloved younger sister has come to know that her mother is not alive in this world. Seda says to her younger sister, "Don't cry, sister. When the war stops, I will take you to mother's grave. We will build a house next to mother's grave and stay there forever." A long days passed like this. Their savings are gone finish. The two siblings have nothing to eat anymore. No more clothes to wear. They go to a nearby farmer for help, from whom they used to buy food. But that farmer also returned them. Then suddenly the Americans attacked again. Two siblings are hiding in the tomato field. Hungry Saida saw tomatoes and immediately ate some tomatoes. And he lets his sister eat tomatoes. And the two siblings steal some more tomatoes for themselves. They return to their little cave. It can be seen from this point of view. While drinking impure water and living in a dirty environment, Sechoko was affected by various diseases. She afflicted with skin disease, and with it is the dreaded disease of those times, diarrhea. Seda doesn't know what to do. He goes to steal Ankh for his sister at night. He steals a sugarcane, but in a cruel twist of fate, he gets caught. The owner of the sugarcane plantation started beating him like an inhuman. Seda apologizes to him again and again. But that forgiveness does not work. The merciless man brought him to the cave to beat him. And the younger sister Sechoko brutally beat her brother in front of her. Seda knelt down to the man and started requesting, Please don't hit me again. I did it for my sister. My baby sister is very sick and very hungry. I did it to feed him a little. I will never do it again." But the inhuman man's mind does not melt. The man handed him over to the police. When the policeman looks at the boy, the policeman falls in illusion with him. He then released the boy. When Seda came out of the police station, she saw that her younger sister had come here following her after a long journey. Seda looked at her sick sister's face and started crying. Seda returns to their cave with her younger sister close. After that, it can be seen that in the places where there was war, he used to risk his life and go there. Because people used to run away from places where there was war. And on this occasion Seda used to steal food and clothes from there to feed her little sister. A few days passed like this. But Sechoko was slowly getting sicker and sicker. So Seda took her to a city hospital to see a doctor. The doctor saw the condition of the baby girl and said to Seda, "Your sister's condition is very bad. She is severely malnourished and also diarrhea." Seda tells the doctor that then the doctor should prescribe some medicine. Doctor say, "There is no medicine for this disease. Only nutritious food can save your sister." The needy Seda said to the doctor in pain, "So tell me, where can I get nutritious food for my sister?" Seda came out with her younger sister in her arms. Two brothers and sisters were walking along the road, and they saw some broken ice from a ice's car on the side of the road. Seda gives some pieces of ice from those ices to her little sister's mouth. Seda asks her little sister, "What do you eat, sister? You just tell me, I will bring all the food for you." The younger sister said to her brother in a broken voice, "Brother, I want to eat some rice. I will eat some noodles and some ice cream as well." Seda hugs her little sister tightly and says, "I will bring everything for you, sister." Seda leaves her younger sister in the cave and goes to the bank again. Because there was still 3,000 rupees left. He brings the money. But he heard in the bank that Japan had lost the war to America. And his father was also a naval officer. And he learns that all the members of the Navy are dead. The last hope of the two children was extinguished here. Seda came running out of the bank. She cries profusely after seeing her father's picture. But she stopped crying and finally started walking back home. She bought watermelon, chicken, noodles for her little sister today. But by then it was too late. Because Seda did not know that her younger sister was passing the last time of her life. Seda cut a piece of watermelon and gave it to her sister. The younger sister said in a very slow voice, "The watermelon is very sweet, thank you very much." And that was the last thing in Sechoko's voice. Seda still could not understand the matter. She went out and started cooking her sister's favorite dishes. The rice is finished cooking. But her little sister will never wake up again to eat that rice. Seda spends the whole night next to her younger sister's dead body when she realizes it. And looked at the innocent face of his little sister. In the morning, Seda bought some straws and box from the village farmer to burn her sister's body. After that, only the memories of her younger sister flashed in front of her eyes. Sometimes Sechoko is swinging. Sometimes reading army dresses, trying to dress up the army. He is decorating the house because his brother will come sometime. The little girl could sews like her mother's. He is not in the world today. No one will ever call Seda as brother. Seda takes her younger sister to the mountain, to burn her. He puts his little sister in that box. And also keeps some of the little sister's favorite toys. For the last time, she looked at her beloved little sister's face. He will never see this face again. Finally abandoning all illusions of the world, Seda sets fire to her sister's box. And the baby girl is freed from this world forever. Seda takes some pieces of her burnt sister's body right in a tin can and leaves forever. He never returned to that cave. And what happened to his fate, we saw at the beginning of the movie. And this is where the movie ends.